Good morning from Ballysimon Road in Limerick. It is the 3rd of November and it is 12 minutes past 9. Why am I in Ballysimon Road in Limerick at 9:12 in the morning is myself and the missus are on the way to Enniskillen in Northern Ireland for I won't say a weekend away, but it is kind of a weekend away. We're just going for one night, doing some shopping and just generally relaxing. It'll be roughly a 340-ish kilometre journey. Weather-wise, it's been pretty it is brightening up, which is good. We had a storm last night, so it was like 60-kilometre-hour winds or something like that. Now, they're southerly winds and we're heading north, so it's actually, the winds are behind us. It thankfully has been relatively dry. Just show you the consumption here. Like, that's pretty good going, considering I was doing a pretty high average speed. But that's because of the winds. Right, so we've been here for literally only about 5 minutes. Next stop is going to be Roscrea. The reason why we're going via Roscrea is because the chargers in Nina and Athlone are not working. So normally I would have gone from here to Athlone, which is the shorter route, but I have to take a slight detour and go via Roscrea. After Roscrea, we may stop in Athlone at a slow charger, but I think we're going to head straight up to Longford and charge in Longford town, and then on to Enniskillen. First, coffee. Right, after about 4 attempts to get the car or the charger started and continuing, I'm charging here in Roscrea. The reason why it threw up a hissy fit was because of the hot battery. I kind of knew this, which is why I was staying with the charger. It's just about getting the timing right between the car looking for the charger and the charger looking for the car, but I got it now. So the back fans are running, front fans are running, car's charging, not a problem. Got here with about 16%. We're already up to 22. Gonna have breakfast. Yeah, we're gonna have breakfast up in McDonald's, which is behind the service station that is behind me here, and we're gonna move on to Athlone, Longford direction, depending on how we're set with P stops and things like that. See you guys back on the road. Oh yeah, with regards to the road, this was the last bit of motorway from now up until Enniskillen, so it's going to be a bit of a slow progress right now. So we've been on the road for about 2 hours, covered about 140 kilometres, which is pretty damn good going. I have an average speed of 83.9 kilometres per hour, which is good going. So that's going to dramatically slow down. Right, Longford. This charger has been replaced since the last time we were here. It's now a standard triple charger. The layout is still a bit weird because you have these two weird outlines. You know what? I'll just go to the outside and I'll show you. I hope the wind isn't too bad. Basically, you have this charger in the middle, and there's these two weird spots. So you've got that, and you've got that. Now, if you have a front loading car, or a car with a cable on the front, I'd actually think you'd struggle to get it here. If you have a cable or the actual plug on the left side of the car, and if you're nose in, you won't reach it. If you go like that, it's a really weird layout. Oh, other thing. It's only done 830 kilowatt hours on the AC and over 10,000 on the DC. Just goes to show that there's not an awful lot of AC loading cars around here. So I think we're going to grab some lunch, and after this it's all the ways up to Enniskillen. Good morning from the shores of lower Lough, I think it's Lough Erne, something along that line. It's the Erne River. Got up this morning around 8 o'clock. We stayed at the Enniskillen Hotel and Motel. Really nice. If you're around Enniskillen, I can thoroughly recommend it. So as you saw yesterday, we were driving down to Enniskillen. We did some shopping. I ordered myself some new glasses, which I will be picking up again in another few weeks. So another drive up to Enniskillen for me. Yay! And I just decided to leave my wife sleep for a little while whilst I explore. I read on the internet yesterday there's some monastery behind me on Devonish Island, and I decided to go for a walk around here. It's absolutely really nice. I mean, just look. Now that you've had a look at it. Right, so what's the plan for today? The plan for today is to, I think we're going to have breakfast in about 30 minutes. Shower, change clothes probably, and drive on back. I think we're gonna hopefully try and be home around 6 to 9 o'clock this evening. The drive up here, as predicted from Athlone or Roscrea onwards, was pretty slow. It's going towards Northern Ireland is really nice. I love coming up here. The problem is that unless you're coming from sort of, say, Northern Ireland or Dublin side, there's no real motorway. So Dublin Belfast is the only real motorway there is. The rest are all A roads, or if you're very unfortunate like us for the last 50 kilometers, a regional road, which is an R road. Basically meaning that 300 kilometers takes about 6 hours to do. Not bad. I spent probably about, let's see now, the first stop was 17 minutes. That was Limerick. The second stop, Roscrea, was 40 minutes. We had breakfast at that stage. The third stop was Longford, which took, I think it's something like 34, 36 minutes. So that makes it a grand total of roughly 80 minutes charging, which isn't bad for 300 kilometers. I would have preferred to have been able to drive faster, but sure, you know, them are the breaks. So I will see you guys on the road. So once again, enjoy the nice scenery. So those were the totals for day one. Well, actually day one and all the way up until now, because I'm only just back from Lough Erne. Just started with a low battery warning, but I should be absolutely fine. So this is, I think it's called Mary Street Car Park. Yeah. Anyway, I don't think you can see it with the sun shining on the sign, but the sign there says pay at machine Monday to Saturday. Today is Sunday, so I have free parking as well as free charging. So I'm going to park the car here, walk to the hotel, which is a few hundred meters up the road, shower, come back here, the car will be fully charged, and we're good to go. So 22.18 kilowatt hours supplied. Later we are at 100%, and finished charging I think about 4 or 5 minutes ago. Well, I got the message about 4 or 5 minutes ago. I reckon it actually finished charging sooner, but it didn't notify me until then. That is okay. We're fully charged. We're checked out of the hotel. I'm just going to go back now, pick up my wife, pick up the luggage, and we're going to get on our way. Okay, little bit of a problem. So we made it to Longford, as you can tell, but we just found out that my wife left her diabetes testing kit in Enniskillen, or at least we can't find it. I'm going to do another route around the car to make sure that it isn't sort of falling behind or in something, but it looks like we're going to have to drive all the ways back to Enniskillen and then all the ways back here. So I've dropped my wife off in Dunnes Stores to get some food, and yeah. So after ringing the hotel and after going through the car, yes, the actual kit is inside the hotel. They found it, so we're heading back to Enniskillen. It's going to add a little bit of a delay to our day, but sure, at least the actual kit is safe. We had a bit of food, so we're at 95%, so we're going to go straight back to Enniskillen. Okay, back in Enniskillen, charging up. We're going to grab some lunch and then we're back on the road, back to, well, Longford really. Let's just see how much we've driven here now today. There we go, 204 kilometres for, well, just for fun really. So 96%, about, well, as you saw, about an hour and something later. The light is fading, so I think we're just going to go home and I won't end up filming anything else. So, yes, so we are back home, as you can tell by the background change, through the magic of post-production. It is indeed still daylight, so that means it is the following day. It's currently 7:50 in the morning. I'm about to head for work because it is indeed Monday. We came home last night around 11:15, and I think it's time for just more of a picture-based show of what happened after I left you yesterday at around 4:15. Basically, we continued our journey, and as predicted, the daylight faded pretty quickly. By the time we got in Longford, it was, off the top of my head, it was around 5:30, a little bit later maybe. We spent, I think it was 35 minutes or so. I'll put the totals down at the bottom anyway. About 35 minutes or so charging. We drove on to Rosscray in the pouring rain. It was pretty bad. Got to Rosscray with no problem. Charged up there, had McDonald's for dinner. Right sort of before a whole truckload of kids arrived, and basically made the McDonald's really busy. Then we drove on to Ballysimon Road in Limerick, where we spent, I think it was 22 minutes charging just to get home, and I arrived home with 23% remaining. Then after I unloaded the car, I plugged in the car, and it was basically started cooling the battery. After whilst we were charging in Limerick, and we had done around 480 kilometres at that stage, the battery was pretty toasty, although when I checked the temperature using CanSETI, I think the highest cell was 30 degrees, which was pretty good. After, say, 300 miles of a drive for that day, and so that was pretty good. But the battery cooled itself down whilst I was charging on the driveway, and that means we have done a grand total for this trip of 902.9 kilometres, which is pretty good. Yesterday we ended up doing, I think it was 550 kilometres. I'll put the whole thing up over on the screen. I think it was 550 kilometres. And that was purely because my dear wife forgot her diabetes testing kit. Pregnancy brain. It's unbelievable. So that is it for this episode. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and we will see you guys next time, which will be, let's see now, I'll be going up to Dublin on Thursday. So that should be the next episode, followed by an episode about me going up to Enniskillen once again. The reason why we went up to Enniskillen other than a weekend away was I wanted to get a pair of new glasses, and the glasses are very cheap up in Asda in Northern Ireland, so we decided, you know what, let's just get a pair of glasses there. They used to post them to wherever you wanted to, but they've stopped that service. We didn't know that. So I actually have to drive back to Enniskillen to collect my glasses in a few weeks. That should be interesting. I won't have my wife with me, so the car will be hopefully a little bit tidier, but I'll also be able to film a bit more within the car. My wife still doesn't really like being on film, so I don't tend to film in the car while she's in it. So, see you guys next time.